So what if you could build the perfect city? One managed not by people, but by AI? Well, India isn't just asking that question. It's actually spending billions to make it happen. Today, we're diving into what might be one of the most ambitious urban makeovers in history.
And it all kicks off with this number, $25 billion. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of some countries. It is a massive investment that India is pouring into its groundbreaking Smart Cities mission, which is basically a plan to completely rethink and reshape its cities.
And look, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea for the future. We're talking about a 93% completion rate. Out of more than 8,000 projects planned, the vast majority are done. This thing is a reality, and it's already changing daily life for millions of people as we speak.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the sheer scale of this huge bet. Then, we'll pop the hood and look at the city's AI brain. After that, we'll see how it's actually impacting daily life, check out some of the wildest futuristic projects, see where India stands in the global AI race, and finally, we'll talk about the real-world challenges they're facing.
Okay, so first up, let's really try to get our heads around the scale here. This whole thing kicked off way back in 2015. And the goal wasn't just, to slap some new tech onto old cities. No, it was about creating brand new, tech-driven hubs built from the ground up for efficiency and sustainability, and doing it across 100 different cities.
Right, so how do you actually make a city smart? What does that even mean? Well, pretty simple, really. You give it a brain. And in India's case, that brain is all powered by AI.
At the very core of all 100 of these smart cities, you'll find something called an Integrated Command and Control Center, or ICCC for short. Honestly, the best way to picture it is as the city's central nervous system. It's this hub that's constantly taking in information from thousands of sensors to manage, pretty much everything in real time.
And it works in this really elegant three-step process. First, it's just gathering data, a constant stream of it from all those sensors. Then, the AI gets to work, sifting through all of it, looking for patterns, and trying to predict what's going to happen next. But this last step, this is the real game changer. It allows the city to make proactive decisions. So we're not just talking about reacting to a traffic jam that's already there. We're talking about preventing it from happening in the first place.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually feel like for the people living there? How does it change your commute, your safety, your day-to-day? Well, the impact is real, and sometimes it's literally a lifesaver.
Let's take Delhi, for example. A city, let's be honest, that's famous for having some of the most gridlocked traffic in the world. Well, this represents a huge breakthrough.
Yep, a 30% drop in traffic congestion. If you've ever been stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic, you know how massive that is. It means less time wasted sitting in your car, less pollution being pumped into the air, and just a city that works better. And it's all because AI is adjusting traffic lights based on what's happening right now, not on some old fixed schedule.
And this isn't just about making your commute easier. It goes way beyond that. It's about making cities fundamentally safer places to live.
So over in the city of Surat, for instance, they've rolled out AI-powered surveillance. And the result? A 27% drop in crime rates. The system is smart enough to flag suspicious activity, which means police can get there faster, ultimately making the streets and whole communities feel safer.
Okay, so now let's look at the real pioneers. While all 100 cities are getting this upgrade, there are a few flagship projects that are just pushing the envelope, really showing us what an AI city of tomorrow could look like.
And what's so interesting here are the two totally different approaches they're taking. On one hand, you have Lucknow, where they're taking a huge existing capital city and retrofitting it with AI. But on the other hand, you have Infopark in Kerala, where they're literally building a brand new city from scratch, designed from day one to be run by a central city brain. It's like two different experiments running at the same time.
And this kind of thinking goes way beyond just traffic and trash collection. It's completely changing critical services, like healthcare. I mean, check this out. In Telangana, they have an initiative called Medicine from the Sky. They're using AI-guided drones to deliver vaccines, blood, even organs for transplants to really remote areas. It's just incredible stuff, using tech to get around huge geographical hurdles and save lives.
Okay, so with all of this money and all this cool innovation, you have to ask, how does India's big push stack up globally? Where does it fit in the bigger picture of the global AI race?
Well, if you just look at private investment in AI, it's pretty clear the US and China are in a league of their own. India's investment is growing fast, for sure, but it's still playing a bit of catch-up. But you know what?
that number right there, it doesn't tell the whole story.
That's because the biggest tech companies on the planet are betting big on India. We're talking tens of billions of dollars being committed by the heavy hitters, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, all pouring money into building up the country's AI and cloud infrastructure.
And this gets us to the really crucial point. India's secret weapon, its real superpower, isn't just about the money. It's the people. The country's ranked #1 globally in both AI skill penetration and talent concentration. So what does that mean? It means they have a massive, and I mean massive, pool of skilled AI talent. And that human capital, that's their ultimate ace in the hole. But let's be real for a second. Building this kind of future isn't as simple as flipping a switch. To actually pull this off, India has to face down some pretty significant real-world challenges.
And we're not talking about small speed bumps here. You've got a huge digital divide. How do you make sure everyone benefits, not just people with good internet? Then there's the skills gap. You need to retrain 90% of city employees to handle this new tech. And you have to figure out how to plug all this shiny new technology into infrastructure that's sometimes decades old, all while dealing with the super important questions around data privacy.
Which really brings us to the bottom line, right? The ultimate measure of success here isn't going to be how fancy the technology is. It's going to be about real, tangible improvements to people's lives. You know, shorter commutes, safer streets, cleaner air.
And so that leaves us with one final really big question. As India builds out this incredible vision on a scale we've never seen before, you can bet the rest of the world is watching very closely. Is this grand experiment the blueprint for what our own cities will look like in the future? Well, I guess only time will tell.